Welcome everybody to ESC Fan TV. It's a very late ESC Fan TV show this evening. We've just sat through what feels like 100 hours of FiK58, Fest58 or Festivali I Kenges, whichever way you want to describe it. We've got a panel of guests tonight who are here to give you their thoughts on Arilena, who has won for Albania and will represent the country at Eurovision 2020 in Rotterdam. Let's get to know our guests. So, top left, we have the Mr. Brook, who... are you awake, Mr. Brook?
Oh, I am now.
Calling from London Vision, we have Mr. Brook. How are you this evening?
I'm very well, thank you very much.
Good
It's
to see
been a long night.
It has. It's been quite a fun night, though, hasn't it?
Well, off screen, yes.
We have a couple of newbies, starting down on my bottom left, all the way from, I was going to say sunny Australia, but in fact, he's somewhere in France. How are you, Patrick?
I am very well, very well. I just had to endure a number of hours of that show, but I am still alive, so I'm pretty happy.
Awesome. And we have, which it looks like they might be having audio and visual trouble again. We have Phil and Michelle. Can you hear me? No, they can't.
No, I can't.
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear us?
We can hear you, but you're not moving. Are you moving slightly? How are you?
I can hear you.
How are you, Phil and Michelle?
Oh, I am so ficked off with tonight.
We're going to get into that.
If you can hear us, congratulate the people of Albania for their incredible attention span for being able to watch that.
Yeah, it was a fantastic show. Joining us from the Let Me Be the One blog and podcast, we have down to the right. Make sure his microphone is off and mute. It is, as always, Martin Palmer. How are you, Martin?
Fine, thanks. Yes, it's all good practice for Andy's favourite San Remo that will be coming up when you get 5 nights of that sort of length of show. But yeah, I didn't expect anything different because I've been doing an FIK for quite a few years now. So
yeah, you love a good FiK at this time of year, Martin, don't
indeed, you? Yes, always.
And joining us for the very first time, and we've got a bit of an announcement. We've just agreed to collaborate with Eurovision Norway. We'd like to welcome our friend Morten, all the way from Norway, to join us this evening. How are you, Morten?
Hi, thanks. Thanks for letting me be on the show.
Good to have you.
Pleasure.
Good to have you. Yeah, it's our pleasure. So, Albania. So we have a winner. After hours and hours and hours, we ended up with a fantastic winner. This is the song. Yeah, Arilena, she's really popular in Albania. She's one of the favourites going in. She's won X Factor. She's 21 years old. Yeah, it was a powerful rock soul ballad. What did we make of the winner? Let's start with Mr. Brook to my left side. Andy, I think you'd wrote to me and told me that this was one of your favourites from the song.
Yeah, but I've made notes because it's late. And I can't remember them.
Is that late? We actually can't see, so we have to.
So this is Arilena Ara with Shaj. Fantastic vocal performance. Sounds like a winner and certain finalist in Rotterdam. She'll have to change the title, though. You can't have a song called Shaj.
It's shy, and it's translated as swear. It's swear. Patrick, what did you make of it?
That performance, I think, was absolutely spot on. Obviously, the outfit was quite out there. I think I was saying to some of you guys a little earlier as we were watching it that it was. It reminded me a lot of, and this is for any Star Trek fans out there. It reminded me a lot of 7 of 9 from Voyager. Those were the kind of images that came into my head. But nevertheless, vocal performance was off the charts, very powerful. She will make a good impact in Rotterdam. I'm very confident of that. But yeah, let's see which other songs come up first. But yeah, no, I think she stands a really good chance next year in the Netherlands.
And Martin, you had this as one of your favourites going into tonight's show. Did it stand out for you as a clear winner?
I think tonight, yes. In the semi-final, I had Val on, the guy who sang the rock song right at the beginning, but tonight she was head and shoulders above everybody else. Outlandish outfit was really striking, but I mean, I've had a look at the sort of translation of the lyrics, and it is quite dark, so probably that's why she's gone for this sort of bizarre, sort of black outfit. But yeah, superb performance, great connection with the camera. I loved it. I thought it was by far and away the best this evening. I can't remember who I had as second. I had Camilla as my second, but that was for a jazzy style. But yeah, this was the best for me.
I was a big fan of what she was wearing, I have to say. It was that bodysuit was so tight, I thought I could tell what she had for breakfast. Morten, what did you make of tonight's winner?
Well, I have to say that this is as close you can get to perfection. Like everything from the dress, I love the dress, the song, the charisma she had, and that you could see that she was giving 100% on stage. I really love that, and the song is brilliant. It will definitely go to the final in Rotterdam, and I think it can place really, really high, depending on the other songs that are competing.
And you may have noticed we also have Elliot join us. We're going to be rotating some of the guests tonight. He's joining us. He's been in the green room waiting to have his say, but he has also been suffering with the rest of us. I say suffering now. Of course, we enjoyed it. We enjoyed the FiK together. First time we could actually say that we enjoyed a good FiK together, Elliot. What did you make of the winner?
I had Arilena as my winner. I remember saying last week she was a contender to win, and then when my winner sadly got eliminated in the semi-final, I was like, this is the one that has to win. She was emotive. She had the vocals there again tonight. I believed what she was singing. I don't know what she was singing about, but I believed it. Do that again in Rotterdam, and I believe like Andy can do very well. It gives me a very strong feelings like Ronan Nishnu did with her power and her vocal, and she got 5th. I'm not saying Arilena will do that, but at the minute, the sky is the limit for her.
And Philip Michelle, I'm going to bring you in. It's fair to say this is your first FiK. I'm just going to test your mic. There's a slight pause there just to see if you could hear me. And you could respond, perhaps?
Yeah, well, FiK me, it's been a long night.
And tell me, we can hear you fine, just fine, actually. Tell me about your experiences of Arilena
I like the song.
and Shaj. Go on. No, they've gone, have they?
I can do a bit of Michelle if you like.
I thought she looked like Patrick said. She looked like an early 70s sort of thing, you know, like Blake from those days. But no, can you not hear us?
You're cutting in and out, guys. I'm so sorry. All right, we'll come back to you shortly.
Can you not hear us?
We can hear you, but you're intermittent, unfortunately, and your Wi-Fi's packed up.
I'm sorry, mate.
I didn't like it.
You didn't. Okay, we're gonna move on. So, Andy, we know that Shaj is going to represent Albania.
Yes.
And you said it's a direct qualifier. How well do you think Albania could do at Eurovision with this song? Could we see this as a potential winner?
No. I think the time has passed for earnest women singing power ballads.
And okay, but how well do you think this may do at Eurovision?
Well, I think it will qualify for the final and come 15th.
About 15th. Well, their average score, Albania, is between 15th and 17th.
They don't have enough friends. They don't have enough friends to vote for them anyway.
The last time they were higher was 2012, of course, with Zeus,
which was fantastic.
Yeah, it was. Morten, how do you think this song will do at Eurovision? Can you see this as a potential contender?
I hope like it will be like a top 10, top 5 because I love the song so much. But I think this song will it will happen the same to this song as it happened to Kruna this year, Serbia. I see a bit of similarities in those songs, and I think this is a very good song, but I don't think people will appreciate it enough, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's the best one chosen so far.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah, I presume you're discounting the singers who have been picked to represent their countries and just talking about the songs only, Andy. Martin, do you see this as a potential contender at Eurovision?
Probably not, but who knows? But I think it depends whether they keep it in Albanian as well. Hopefully they will. Hopefully the last 2 years of having Eugen and Janida be in the final will encourage them to keep it that way. And because Albanian seems to be a language, if you start changing it to English, all of a sudden the meaning starts getting changed a lot. And it loses all its impact and power. I think that she had it perfect there. So I would like to think that would get to the final. How well it's going to do, I don't know. Maybe sort of get to where Janida did this year might be sort of like the aim that they would have. And
Patrick, I'm just going to come to you on this, and then we're going to cover a couple of more things on some of the other acts. But do you see this song as being one that could do better than Janida last year? And is this the type of song that the juries are going to vote for at Eurovision?
Well, I would probably say for starters, it is a little bit cutting edge for Albania. In terms of what we see in the staging tonight, absolutely, costumes, all that jazz. In terms of where it would actually go in Rotterdam, there are obviously a lot of variables that will come into play on that. I don't particularly see it as a winner, like others have said already. It probably might do as well as Janita did. Whether it does better, though, again, it will depend on the quality of all the other songs that will be coming through to Rotterdam in the next 5 months.
So I'm going to actually disagree, and I'm going to say I think this is a contender. I think this is Albania's best song that I can remember since Zeus. And I'm expecting them to
No, Mal was much better.
Eurovision's all about opinions, right? I think this is their best entry since Zeus, and I'm expecting the results to reflect. So I guess we're gonna have to see, aren't we? I could be totally wrong. Really keen to move on to some of the also rans. We saw Elvana finish second. She was the hot favourite going into this contest. Phil and Michelle, it looks like your Wi-Fi is a bit better, so I'm going to come to you whilst we can get you on air. Tell us about Elvana and Mitiana. Probably butchered that pronunciation. But what did you make of that song? And did you think that it should have potentially won, or do you think that Albania chose the right winner tonight?
I don't think they chose the right winner, but I also don't think she was a contender. It's like she's supposed to be this good dancer. Why did she wait till the very end before she danced? She stood there like spud.
I think, yes, it looked with the staging, they'd really gone for it and they were trying to promote this song. But she seemed to just phone it in. She wasn't making effort that she should have. That's a shame because it could have been a really good song. Could have done well if she'd have given it a bit more oomph.
Yeah, there was no oomph there. It's like she'd maybe watched the show, got a bit bored and went, "Oh God, it's my turn." And it was just need to move more. She just, there's nothing going.
Right at the end, didn't she?
Yeah, it's not very often that we agree. I don't know if it's because I've drank so much, but yeah.
Well,
we agree. It was a shocker by her. It just didn't come across very well on the TV.
Let's have a listen. Yeah, I mean, I thought that was going to win up until I saw Arilena and I thought, wow, you know, that looks to be like every bit a winner in all ways. You know, the performance, the look, the feel of the song. Martin, I mean, if you were Elvana tonight, are you feeling a little bit gutted about this?
You wonder whether she was being built up by certain quarters and certain people that she was going to win it easily, and it was all a bit of a coronation for her. I never really got the love for it. It was a decent enough pop song. It was good staging. I mean, it's good routine, but for me, that was about it. I never really got on board with her voice. All sort of, you know, a bit warbly for me, but you know, it would. I expect they would have revamped it and they'd have made it a bit slicker for Eurovision. But yeah, I mean, I've had her down at what, 6th tonight. I thought there was far better acts on the stage this evening, you know. But I know there's going to be a lot of the Eurovision fandom who are a bit gutted that she hasn't won, because I know that, you know, they all thinking it's going to be a bit of a cakewalk.
And is there anybody on the panel that had Elvana as the winner tonight? No, you see, it's all about the performance, isn't it? I thought actually in terms of the song, probably the strongest one, but actually when it comes down to the live performance, it all changes, right? So, Patrick, outside of Arilena, who else do you think tonight should have maybe done a bit better?
Who should have done a little bit better? Obviously, Albania, who just so in terms of people who I thought should have done better, I know there were big expectations around Gena and his performance. I know there were a number of us who were quite into the song and we thought it might actually do really well. But unfortunately, when it came on to, again, live performance, kind of fell well short of the expectations. Apart from that, I think the quality of all the other songs tonight were pretty much as expected. I think just staging wise, it was just all a little bit like kind of par for the course, so to speak. Apart from, again, Arilena, who was just like, her staging was perfect. It was simple. It was effective. It showed off her voice. That's pretty much what you need with a song like that. And if you can do that, then the song could go places.
And just to remind everyone, thank you, Patrick. Just to remind everybody that if you're watching on YouTube, click the like button. Make sure you click subscribe, and make sure you go and follow our friends at Eurovision Norway. Of course, you already listen to the Let Me Be One blog and podcast, and many other brands that we work with. Click the like button, click subscribe. If you're listening on podcast, great. You're probably listening on either iTunes, you're listening on, what is it, Apple Podcasts now, isn't it? Not iTunes. You're listening on Spotify, maybe Stitcher. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Make sure you go and give us a follow. Now, Patrick mentioned Gena, or is it Gena? I think we should listen to it. Let's see what Eurovision missed out on, because frankly, it's a banger. Now, can you imagine the Ahoy in Rotterdam if that had won? It would have gone off. It would have gone off. Andy, can you imagine that in the Ahoy? And can you imagine the parties that would have created?
I thought it was a lot of shite.
Why, Andy?
Well, I mean, it's 20 years too late. He looked a bit odd. I'm just going to check in case I said anything nice about him. No, I didn't.
Okay, we're going to move on. Elliot. Now we've heard the Elvana song, we've heard the Arilena song, and now we've heard the Gena song. What other artists were you expecting to do better than they did this evening? And was Sarah finishing the top 3 a shock?
Sarah finishing the top 3 was a slight shock for me, because I felt that was a case of a very good voice with a very bad song. I felt her voice was lovely. I just felt the song was just a bit bland, for lack of a better word, personally. But like I said, she's a great live singer, and as you said, she's only 15 or 16, so she's going to be back, and she's probably going to win in a few years anyway. Going on the live performance, I would also say Alta Boca was a real contender because I thought she sang it absolutely fantastic. There was real emotion, there was real power, and there was something happening on stage with the bloke in the box. But, you know, like a lot of the comments that are coming through, it comes down to the live performance, and that is how Arilena won it, and that's how Gena didn't as well, because you see in that clip you just shown, the audience is clapping, they're on their feet, they're really behind that song, but him himself has just kind of stood there and going from mark to mark. There's no energy from him. It was all in the pyro, the smoke, and the dancers, not him. And that's how Arilena won tonight. She gave the performance herself.
Yes. You've mentioned a couple of artists there. Let's listen to some of these songs from firstly from Alta Boca. And also Sarah. Sarah finished third tonight. We know that much. Phil and Michelle, what did you make of Sarah? You're not paying attention at all, are they? Phil, Michelle, Sarah, what did you make of them?
I thought she was shit.
Phil, Michelle, can you hear me and can you speak, please? Hello? No, we're going to have to move on. Well, can't hear you, you're not talking. Morton, was it a shock for you that Sarah finished third?
It was actually a big shock for me because I had it as one of the lower songs on my list, because it's a Balkan song that you've heard so many times before at Eurovision. Like, it's nothing new to the song, and it doesn't catch my attention. Her vocal are good, but I just don't see it doing well if it would have won. Or so top three was a really big shock for me.
And Elliot, you just got a comment regarding the Arilena song and the press conference that's just taken place in Albania.
Yeah, so it's coming through that initially, apparently, the song was wrote in English, and Arilena is considering turning the entire song back into English for Eurovision. So it's bang on 3 minutes, and it was the only song that was in the selection. So it does feel like the song was wrote for Eurovision, but it does look like she wants to sing in English in Rotterdam, which I'm not sure if that's a good idea or not, to be honest.
Well, you know, it has its benefits, but also has its downfalls. Andy, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Do we need English in the Albanian song?
She was singing some English in the reprise, wasn't she? I heard her singing Shine.
Did she? I missed that. I missed that entirely. Anyone confirm?
Yeah, I think she should sing in English.
You think she should sing in English?
Yes. It's not... If it was a very ethnic song, then singing in Albanian would suit it. But it's just a generic rock ballad. So singing in English will work better.
And Patrick, you're nodding your head there. Do you agree that she should be singing at least part of the song in English?
Well, it kind of depends. Well, if you go back to the times where everybody was singing their own national language, that obviously brought mixed results. And particularly as we got into the 90s, you were getting this domination like Ireland, UK, who were obviously English-speaking countries. And I think once that language rule got dropped, I thought, yeah, we need to start singing English to market ourselves a lot better with the international crowd. So there could be some benefit in the song, or at least part of it being spoken in English. And I think Andy does have a point in that it is sort of a generic pop song, so it could go either way. But it'll be worth the risk, I reckon.
So I think, you know what, we're going to leave it there tonight because it's a late one, isn't it? And we've been going 25 minutes already. But I think I want to just finish with one question to all of you. What do Albania need to do with this song to propel themselves to become a contender at Eurovision? And I'm going to start with Andy, and I'm hoping he's not going to say choose a different song.
No, I think
or
this
have I just stolen your thunder, dear?
This is my second or third favourite of the night, and they can't turn it into a winner no matter what they do. It's not going to win.
It's not going to win.
It's a nice song, but it's not going to win.
Are we sure there's nothing that Albania can do here? And we talk about the translation into English. We know Albania love a revamp. I don't know, Morten. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think it's possible that with a bit of change, a revamp to this song, maybe change the lyrics back to English, could this propel itself up to contender at Eurovision?
I really like the song as it is now. I don't want it to be in English because I love the song as it is now. I love the Albanian language, and I think she does it really well right now in the Albanian language as well. I haven't heard the English version, so it can go either way. But I can't think of anything at the top of my head that can make the song better in Rotterdam. But I just hope they make the song as good as possible as it can be.
So we've seen some of the comments from those in the chat room tonight. Keep those comments coming in. We've seen that Arilena had the best vocals. Elvana had the better song, but we know that the Eurovision Song Contest is a song contest. And we've also got Arilena was the right choice tonight, but the song should be sung in Albanian. It has more meaning that way. So I think there's general view that Arilena was the right choice. Yeah, but I guess the panel seemed to be slightly undecided on whether Albania can have a contender here. We're sort of suggesting maybe 15th to 17th is the best they can do. I disagree. I think this is a top 10, possibly top 5. And I especially think that's possible with the various changes. Elliot, any final points from you?
Yeah, I mean, you're saying about how can they change the song between now and Rotterdam. We need to remember that the writer is Darko Dimitrov, who wrote Proud, and Proud won the jury final. So if any changes are going to happen with his involvement, it'll be for the better. And this is very similar to Proud in the fact it's a very simple composition, performed well. And do they need to change anything? I'm kind of with Morten. No, I can't think of anything they need to change or edit. It's going to stand out because it's a ballad but with that rocky edge to it. Everyone is going to be going with those melodic, very piano-y ballads, so this again will stand out. Yeah, at the minute, I just think focus on the staging and make sure you nail that, whatever you decide to do. And then this is easily a jury top 5, I think, because vocally she's fantastic. And this is a girl who also won the X Factor when she was 14. She knows how to handle pressure. She knows how to deliver on an important moment. So I think Albania picked the right song and the right singer for this sort of occasion.
Yeah, she definitely knows how to deliver, and she delivered tonight, and she also delivered in the semi-final. Annie, any final thoughts from you?
I can't wait for the rest of the 41 songs. I think it's going to get lost. I'm sorry. I do like it, but it's a thing. It's the first song, so you want to like it more than you really do, Stuart, possibly.
Yeah, well, I like it, but then I'm the eternal optimist. Martin, final thoughts from you?
I think with revamps and changing language from Albania, we've obviously seen recently that the two that they've kept in Albanian recently have worked and got through to the final and done pretty well. And then the previous two that were revamped and changed into English, which was Nida Tarifa and Lindita, both didn't get anywhere. So that would be my only thought. I think if they're going to change it, we're only going to know when we hear the English version and see how it compares. But I would personally keep it the same because she obviously was believing everything that she was singing there. Great connection, great emotional delivery, great staging. I think it really worked. I don't think it might get into the left-hand side of the leaderboard, maybe a bit like Fusion did, but that might be the best that they could hope for. But then possibly for Albania, that's all they really hope for, is getting to the final every year.
I don't know, really. I mean, I think they probably want to do it better than that. I mean, maybe it's time for an Albanian win, right?
Be nice, be cheaper.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to go to Tirana. It'd be fantastic. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Patrick, final thoughts on tonight's show and the winner from you?
So obviously, I think Arilena basically blitzed it as the winner. My personal favorite though was actually Valon at the beginning of the night. But then again, I'm quite partial to that kind of 70s, 80s sounding synth pop rock sound, because I'm kind of a retro boy at heart. So that kind of song captured me straight away, especially from the semi-final which it performed. So I think that needed a bit.
Should we hear
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, so fantastic. I mean, it really, really sort of really set the show on fire, didn't it? Sorry, you were telling us about the show itself, Patrick. Back with you.
So in fact, in terms of the show itself, this is my virgin Festivali I Kenges, and it was probably one of like the longest experiences that just got drawn out and out and out and out and out. And there is so much that needs to be tidied up about its production. Like, they've been doing this show for 58 years and they still haven't got to a point where they can get this tightened up. So I think there does need to be some changes made to the format in order to make it a little bit more slick. But it's Albania's show. They know what works for their audience. So we can't really complain about it too much, because we as international viewers don't really have that feedback to give them. It's really all about the local audience. But yeah, I can certainly say I can tick it off my bucket list and say I've done it, and I probably never want to do it again unless it becomes a lot shorter in the future.
You survived.
Good luck with that.
I know, and all I got is this lousy T-shirt.
You know what? It's very traditional Albanian, and they were doing this long before they ever entered Eurovision. And I think somebody said Albvision said it well on Instagram and also on Twitter, that actually, this is an Albanian music competition first. Yeah, it's a Eurovision entry second. And it's all about picking the right song for Albania. Just Eurovision just happens to be the sort of end result, and it works for them. And fine. I mean, it's probably a great show for Albanian people, and I bet you they don't want to change it. I bet you they won't. But you know what? I think for us Eurovision folk, we kind of watch it and think, wow, 3 hours is a very, very long time. But it's, like I say, it's a bit like San Remo. It's not built for Eurovision.
Respect due to the host as well.
Trying to make a note. Comments just been made. Arilena has stated in the press conference she's going to perform the original demo in. So comments just come up now. She's going to perform the original demo of it. So she's going to perform it in English.
Oh, okay. Well, it won't be long before we hear that. Final points with yourself, Morten. What did you make of tonight's show, and ultimately the winning song?
I have to say the winning song was the best song tonight. And for the show, it was very long. I felt that as well. But Tetris kept me going in the commercial breaks and everything. So I got through it. It would be fun to see, watch Festivali I Kenges next year as well, because they have a lot of great songs. I saw Elena Fuera performing tonight as well, but I'm not quite sure if that was a good one or a bad one, because she made good songs sound like bad songs, if you know what I mean. Yeah, but it was a good experience, and I'm just gutted that she will perform it in English instead of Albanian.
Yeah, props to Eleni dressing like a zebra this evening. I think she looked absolutely fantastic. No idea where she dreamt that costume up, but it worked for me.
Yeah.
Okay, so we know the winning song. We know it's Arilena. Let's hear it again. And I'd just like to say, it looks as though we have lost Phil and Michelle, so they are getting their internet sorted. They're getting faster Wi-Fi, which I'm sure will help, and we'll have them back on the show next time, hopefully properly. Yeah, I think that's all is left for me to say is that it's a great winner. Whether it will do well on Eurovision, the panel seem very undecided. I'm a bit more positive, I think, than most, and I think there were one or two others who also think the Albanians could do well at Eurovision. We'll be back soon. We've got more national finals on their way, and we'll have more Eurovision songs to be announced and out shortly. So make sure you click that like button, you click subscribe, you go follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and also download a podcast of this show on Apple Music, on Twitter, on Stitcher, and on Spotify. All that is left to be said is thank you for joining us. It's been a very, very long 3 days. Have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas and New Year, and we will see you in 2020 when we will count down to Rotterdam and what could be an absolutely world-class Eurovision Song Contest. Goodbye, everybody.
Yeah. Good night.